They say the strong ones always leave when light starts to fade. But I found a strength I didn't see in the vows we never made. You held your feet like a suitcase, ready for the day you'd go. But I'm still here in the wreckage, finding beauty in what I know. It takes courage to stay when the nights get long and cold, when love feels more like labor than the stories we were told. It's easier to run away, but I'm choosing heart over pride. It takes courage to stay, and I'm staying tonight. We've seen.
So what did I get?
And hot oatmeal cream pie.
All right, am I gonna like it?
I think so.
It is the most beautiful autumn day today. I just can't believe it. I look out the window and I just swoon. It's so pretty. It never gets old, does it? Nature is gorgeous. I'm so happy to see you today. Thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi today. I hope you had a good week. My week was a whole lot better because I am over my strep throat and I feel better. And I even think Desi feels better and looks better. I swear, somebody last week said Desi looks sick. And I thought, well, he looked a little worse for wear. But, you know, Desi and I, we're getting up there. Desi just turned 13. So, yeah, he's such a sweet boy. Thank you so much for loving him. I heard from so many of you this week, and it wasn't just normal questions or conversation. You had specific questions about my life, but also you had questions about your life and what did I think about your circumstances and could I relate? And boy, could I. So that's what I want to do today, even though some of these things that you ask will be a little uncomfortable for me to talk about. I have been asked 3 times in the last month if where I'm filming is really where I live and do I really live alone if it really is my house. One sweet lady, she said her husband said, "Oh, don't be fooled. That's a movie set that Susan films at. She doesn't live there." I do understand that. When it comes to reality, when it comes to YouTube or reality shows on TV, I totally get why somebody would wonder, is that really the truth? I mean, you've got AI and fake videos and you've got actors and actresses that aren't real. So why wouldn't somebody think that maybe this is all fake? But I just wanted to say, this is really my little home. It's like a little cottage, Cape Cod home in northern Michigan, a very, very small town, about an hour outside of Grand Rapids. And that's a bigger city, and that's where I'm from. But I came up here to be closer to my family. It's a college town. It's a beautiful, beautiful little place. My son has a restaurant here, so I have a very full life here. But as far as my home being a movie set, I guess I should be a little bit flattered that you would think that somebody came in and designed this as a set. But my home is a huge part of my life. And how I've always decorated my home is, well, does it make me happy? That's always what I ask myself when I'm arranging a room. Not what's trendy or what I think other people would like, but I always ask myself, what's going to make me happy? Because I need a little help in the happiness department. So I always ask myself, Is this going to cheer me up? Is this going to evoke good memories and good feelings? Is this going to be cozy? Is this going to be warm? And that makes some of my decisions maybe a little suspect, like, oh, isn't that corny? You know, look at that figurine she has. That's so silly, but look at the folk art. Look at the cat smoking cigarettes. It makes me laugh. But yes, my dear sweet friend who thinks that this might be a movie set that Desi and I film at, it is not. I reassure you, this is my home, and I have had subscribers actually surprise me here and come to my home, and that's been quite an experience. So for sure, it's real.
Would I ever have a facelift, or how about some Botox or fillers? And I just feel at this time in my life that ship has sailed, mostly because I don't really want to take any risk, but I also just don't think it would make me any happier. I don't think it would change the way I feel about myself, and I don't think it would change how people looked at me.
This is the rosehip seed oil that I was talking about last week, and I just always feel so spoiled that I get to use this day and night every day, and I just love it. And so many ladies don't. They don't use it. They'll say, you know, well, I really can't get past that. It feels sort of greasy on my skin, or I don't like the smell. And for me, I love the smell, and the stinkier it is, the stronger it is, and the more effective it is. So this is a wonderful brand. But for those of you who said, is it supposed to smell woodsy? Yes, it is. It's supposed to smell woodsy.
I think in the end, nobody's going to remember my sagging jowl, but hopefully they will remember the love that I gave.
So what have I given up since I turned 70? I got just a beautiful message from a woman who said, I have given up so much of my life since turning 70. So many of the things that I used to love to do, I don't want to do them anymore. I don't always feel like that young girl inside anymore. What have you given up? Can you relate to how I feel? And yes, of course, I can relate to how you feel. There is an ebb and flow of aging. And we go from, being really happy and grateful to be alive and enjoying the day to perhaps a more reflective moment when we're putting on our makeup or doing our hair. And we feel that wistful, I don't know if I would call it sorrow. We feel a wistfulness. Let's just leave it at that things have changed for our womanhood, or how we feel about our womanhood. But we haven't changed. And what we see in the mirror is so distorted. We look in the mirror and, we see all these flaws. People don't see that. I always remember when I'm looking in the mirror and I feel disappointed. Instead of feeling grateful, I feel disappointed and shy and sad. I always remember, this isn't real. It's not reality. What I am seeing in the mirror is not reality. That's not what other people see. People who really love me or have affection for me, they don't sit around going, I didn't know whether I liked Susan or not, but those eyebrows, I like her eyebrows. I think I like her more. I think I'll invite her over to the party. I mean, it's so ridiculous. But while we're going through it, it doesn't feel ridiculous. It feels real. But it's not. And I always remember that. And it makes me feel so much better. Another thing I gave up, another thing I stopped doing when I turned 70 is having expectations of how someone is supposed to, in my eyes, show me affection or love. I tell you, this expectation game got me in so much trouble in my life. Like, well, how come you didn't kiss me goodnight? I mean, I remember having an argument with my husband because he didn't kiss me goodnight. I mean, really? I mean, that's a silly example, but when they say love unconditionally, that's, I think, what they're really talking about. But I like to live unconditionally. Like when I come here and let's say we have a chat, I upload a video, and let's say, well, I expect you to, in the comments, say X, Y, and Z, and then you don't, and then what? My whole week is going to be ruined because of my expectations? No, I threw that out, and I am so much happier. How about you? Do you put certain standards on friends or family members that they should say something to you in a certain way at a certain time, or they'll disappoint you? Don't waste your time on that. Please, don't waste your time on it. Your expectations for yourself, those are a lot more fun because those expectations you can control. One of my favorites this week was I got a message from a very sweet subscriber named Desi, and she said, "Do you regret that you were married 3 times?" She said, "Well, I was married twice. I'm turning 76 years old, and I'm haunted by those marriages because they both ended in a bad divorce. And I have so many regrets, and I wish that I could go back in time and do it all over again. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by regret?" I really thought for days on this question. Do I regret that I said I do 3 times to 3 different men? And I have to actually say, no, I don't regret it, but I don't exactly know why. Looking back on my marriage to Ed taught me how to golf. He taught me how to drive, kind of. He brought a lot of joy into my life. We had so many laughs. We had so many friends. We were so busy together and did so many things together. We had a very good relationship for 15 years. I mean, he was like my dad, but he brought me out of a very dark place that I was in, coming out of, my teenage years. He met me when I was only 22 years old. Yes, I can feel overwhelmed by it, but nothing like how it used to be. All the good memories rise to the top, and the bad just seem to sink and go away. I'm not so sure that I believe in, there's a plan for everything. I'm not so sure that I believe in that, but it does feel, looking back, like it happened just the way it was supposed to happen. And I don't even know why I say that, but every time my son talks about his stepfather, Ed, and how much he loved him, how much he remembers him, how much he sometimes fantasizes about going back in time, just like I do, just being able to spend a day with Ed. So no, when I hear my son say things like that, no, I don't regret it.
When I'm standing in the darkness, feeling lost and all alone, your love is like a flickering flame.
I've wanted to ask you for so long, what advice would you give a woman who is estranged from her son or daughter? I have not talked to my daughter in almost 2 years. What would you advise? Well, she saw a video that I did about how I was estranged from my mother for a time, and so I thought I would really like to answer this publicly. When I was estranged from my mother, it was because our communication had totally broken down. She had so many expectations for me of how she wanted me to behave. And I held on to so many grudges of things that I felt that she did when I was growing up, that, well, I still felt that pain. And yet she would never acknowledge those things, let alone say she was sorry. She just never even admitted that maybe she was wrong. She just kept saying, when are you going to realize I was a good mom? And in so many ways, my mom was a great mom and a loving mother. But when she wouldn't acknowledge that there was so much pain in what she had done or said to me, so I just stopped. I just stopped communication. So we were estranged. So to your question, how did we get back on track? My mother wrote me a letter. And she said, I've thought about what you said. And I hear you. I see you. I wish I had never done what was done. I wish I never said what I said. I wish I could have been a better mom to you. I wish I could have been there for you. And those words were the most healing words I ever could imagine from my mother. She not only acknowledged that there was a problem, but she said she was sorry. Maybe she didn't really mean it. Maybe she did. But the thing is, I needed those words. And she loved me enough to give me those words. So I'm just saying that it depends on where you are with your daughter, but maybe anybody who's out there who is estranged from their children, maybe just saying to yourself, I don't agree with why they're mad at me, but you know what? I'm going to say, I hear you, I see you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that affected you. I'm sorry that it hurt you. How can we go on from here? And that's somehow when you're the parent, you lay down your sword and you just love. No matter what, you just love.
After my mother apologized to me, it opened the door for me to look at myself and apologize to her. There have been so many studies done on children who are estranged from their parents, and most of them report two things. They felt that their parents were judging their character in a negative way. And the second thing is, they never felt that their parents respected them. So spending time with their parents made them feel bad about themselves. Not every estrangement can be solved with an apology or a conversation, but most can. It's a two-way street.
Desi, what happened to your bow tie? Desi, you been in the prickers? Oh dear, are you too cold? Are you too cold? Hey, sweetheart. Oh, sweetheart, we'll go inside. Are you cold? You're so cold. You're used to your little blanket, aren't you? Yeah, you love your blanket.
We were practicing our Christmas carols today. It really was fun. Desi is feeling better and we've been singing and we've been having a good time. Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. And down below. Maybe you could tell me, well, how you doing? How you doing this fall? Is everything going okay? Please have yourself a happy, safe, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, come back and see me and Desi, all right? All right, it's a deal.
When light starts.
So what did I get?
And hot omeoki pie.
All right, am I gonna like it?
I think so.
I didn't see, and the vows we never made.